Hope you're all today. Hope you're feeling grand all's well in your world. Welcome to another Q&A Wednesday, everybody. We get to question 1, shall we? Number 1 is, what is your favourite Red Hot Chili Peppers jam? Outro, intro, whatever. Any Don't Forget Me outro jam. And I literally mean any. They're just all amazing. I love them. One of my favourites is on the Can't Stop single. It's called Nothing to Lose. And it's really, really cool. It's just this awesome... It just goes on for like 10 minutes. It's this really, really cool jam. It's a really, really nice chord progression. I can't do it on this guitar because I'm not in the right tuning, but it's called Nothing to Lose, and that's an awesome Chili Peppers jam. That is. I'd highly recommend listening to that one. Any others? The end of Search and Destroy on the Red Hot Chili Peppers Off the Map DVD was life-changing for me. Watching them go into that extended long jam after Search and Destroy on Off the Map DVD was just like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to play like that. That was a massive turning point for me when I got that. When I got that DVD, I bought that DVD off a friend of mine, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's what I want to do. So that jam and probably Nothing to Lose are probably my favourite of all time Chili Peppers jams. But I say I love anything on Don't Forget Me. The outros to Don't Forget Me are just amazing, especially when they go on for a long, long, long time. I love that. There's a couple. There's one where Flea and John it's like just YouTube camera footage, but there's one where Flea and John are knelt down in front of each other on the stage and they're just playing, and it's just the most unreal thing. I remember when I saw them play Don't Forget Me live at Don Valley Stadium in 2006. The outro jam to Don't Forget Me was massively long. It must have been about 5 minutes. The outro jam, when up to that point where Anthony stops singing and they just keep playing. It must have been about a 5-minute jam on the end of Don't Forget Me. And then once John had stopped and Chad had stopped, Flea kept doing the dong, dong for literally another 2 minutes. He just didn't stop. He just kept going and going and going and going and going, and then just all of a sudden stopped abruptly. It was just really, really cool. So they're probably my favourite jams. Nothing to Lose, the Search and Destroy jam off the map, and anything from Don't Forget Me, which is one of my all-time favourite Chili Peppers songs. If not my favourite Chili Peppers song. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. I'm going to move on to question 2 now. Okie dokie, question 2 is, what amp would you recommend for a beginner? A Marshall MG 30 DFX or Orange 20 RT? And do you think modelling amps effects are good? I do think modelling amps effects are good, yeah. They've got a certain character to them that's really, really cool, especially the MG series. I love the effects on the MG, and they're quite... And the fact that... one cool thing I will quickly mention about the MG is the effects, the delay, the chorus and flange. You can use the effects dial as a solo boost. So for instance, if I just kind of like... let's go for a chorus sound. So if I... let's get rid of reverb a sec, because I've got loads of reverb on. So there's my kind of like, my sound there, and it's got the tiniest bit of chorus on it. You can't really distinguish that chorus, but the really cool thing is if I boost the effects level all the way up, and then all the way down, you can hear the difference. So you can actually get a volume boost on an MG by just using the effects, and you'll have like you can use it with delay and chorus or flange. You can use it on any of those effects. See, another little hidden cool thing about an MG. Out of the 20 RT and the MG 30, you can't really go wrong with either of them. But what I would say is try both, really. But if you're wanting effects, then you want to go for the MG, because the MG's got it's got the chorus and the reverb and the delay and the flange. So you've got those effects on the MG 30. So if you're after effects and different sounds, I would go for the MG. If you're after just a straight plug in and play rock, blues, metal, whatever amp, go for the orange. If you don't want things like chorus and flange and delay, if you don't want that, go for the orange. If you do want that, go for the MG. But you can't really go wrong with either. They're both awesome amps. The 20 RT is amazing, and the 30 DFX is amazing. So you're sorted either way, really. It just depends, like I say, on if you want effects and if you don't want effects, let's say. So yeah. And like I said, do I think modelling effects are good? Yeah, I love modelling effects. I mean, I used to own one of those Behringer V amp things, and I used to love that, but it kept breaking on me. But so I eventually got rid of it. But I really do. I really like amp modelling effects. Even the new Marshall, the MG100 FX and the HFX, the new ones. I still like the effects. I think it's probably the only thing I like on that amp, actually, to be honest with you. But I do like the effects on them, and I don't know. I mean, sometimes they take a bit of tweaking on certain amps. They take a bit of kind of getting right. Sometimes they can be a bit overbearing. But yeah, I really think they're cool. I just really enjoy it, and I just think they're good fun at the end of the day. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to move on to question 3 now. Just making sure I covered it all. I think I did. I hope I did. Let me know if I've missed something out. I do apologise sincerely. So I'm going to move on to question 3 now. Okay, so question 3 today is, how do you clean your guitars? Right. Well, I normally kind of I normally clean my guitars maybe about 2 times or 3 times a week, depending. I don't like seeing them kind of like get covered in dust and all that kind of thing. I kind of get a bit OCD with it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But you know, that is what it is. That's fine by me. I don't mind that so much. But what I normally do is I have used those microfiber cloths. You know, you can, like Diodario sell them, and loads of guitar kind of, you get them in kind of guitar kind of survival kits, so to say. But those microfiber cloths are really cool. They really clean the finish. As for using anything on the finish, I don't really do anything. I just use the dust of it, the microfiber cloth, just to really clean off any fingerprints and just any dirt and grub and horribleness. Basically, I just kind of like use that just to clean it off, and just, you know, bit of elbow grease basically. I don't really use anything kind of like polish or anything like that on the guitar bodies. I just clean them off with a duster. String wise, for the longest time I used finger ease, and finger ease is addictive, and I love it. But sadly, the guitar shop where I used to buy it from shut down a long time ago now, and the only guitar shop around here doesn't stock it, and I have to order it in from the US if I want it through eBay. It's really weird, really weird, and I miss it. And I love finger ease. Finger ease was amazing stuff. It kept your strings clean, it kept them alive. So I did used to use that. Recently, again, all I've been doing is just taking the microfiber cloth and just basically cleaning the strings up and down after I play, and just cleaning, you know, just getting any kind of, like, you know, dirt, sweat, horribleness off my strings. After a gig, I don't do that. I'll wait till the next morning, because after a gig, I can't be bothered to clean my guitars after a gig. As I'm sure a lot of you will know out there, after you've played like two and a half hours or something like that, the last thing you want to do is sit there cleaning your guitar strings. So that waits till the next day. But if I'm just kind of playing, like after this, for instance, when I'm putting this guitar down, I'll give the strings a once over, and then you know, that's good enough for me, so to say. And Diodario strings are just they're just awesome anyway for that kind of thing. They just, you know, they just stay shiny. But yeah, I'll just basically get underneath the string and just kind of like just clean it, get all the dead skin off underneath if there is any, and just give it a good wipe on the top. So that's how I do the body. That's how I do strings. Necks, I don't do much with the necks until they start to get gunky, you know, with all the dead skin from your fingers. When you start to see all the dead skin kind of build up on my fretboards, is normally a time where I'll get the lemon oil out and I'll give it a good soaking in lemon oil, and then just kind of like take again the microfiber cloth and just clean all the dead skin off. And you know, once all that's gone, you know, I'll restring it, and then we're away again. But and that's about it really. I don't really, there's nothing really kind of major I do to my guitars. Oh, and the volume pots and stuff. If they get scratchy, I just take, I just switch cleaner to that stuff. But other than that, if it doesn't need doing, I won't do it, kind of thing. Especially with electrics, I like to leave the electrics alone on electric guitars. If it doesn't need doing, I won't touch it. But as for cleaning the guitars, I just use the microfiber cloth. I just wipe the strings down. Just kind of after every time I play a guitar, I like to wipe the strings down just to kind of like keep them as clean as kind of possible. Guitars still wear. I've had my white strap. I've had that forever, as you all know. And I looked after. That was the guitar that started this. I do the cleaning thing, cleaning the strings every time I play it, and it's still worn down and everything. But anyway, that's a different story altogether, and that's not really relevant at all to what's going on right now. But yeah, so that's what I do. It's just a microfiber cloth, lemon oil for the fretboard, and that's it. It's just keeping kind of dust and if I'm not playing it, dust and fingerprint free. The guitars I've got in storage, the guitars that I don't play so much, they're just kind of out of the way and in cases. I make sure they're absolutely spotless before I put them in a case and put them out of the way. I don't like putting guitars away that are just kind of like got fingerprints and dirt on them. I don't think I don't feel it's a good thing to be doing. So I tend to kind of make them absolutely spotless before I put them in the cases and put them out of the way and until I get them out again. But guitars I do play, like I say, maybe twice or 3 times a week, depending. I'll just wipe them down, keep them clean, keep the strings clean, and lemon oil the neck if it's got too much finger dirt on there. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. I'm going to move on to question 4 now. Okay, so question 4 is, do you ever struggle to play when recording videos? I find as soon as I hit record in a video, I mess up in something I was playing 5 minutes before perfectly. Have you ever been as relaxed as you seem? No. And I do always mess up on video. There's always those occasions where, like you say, you're playing something before the camera starts, and you're like, God, this is really cool. And then you start click record. I can't talk. You click record, and all of a sudden you're just like, no, it's all gone wrong. So yeah, and have I always been relaxed as I seem? No, I'm not a very relaxed person at all. I really struggle with relaxing. It's due to one thing or another. But yeah, I do struggle sometimes with especially with sometimes playing things. So most of the time, I think what I'm playing isn't good enough. Especially kind of doing demos of stuff. If I demo a guitar or something, I don't feel like I'm doing the guitar justice, and I kind of get angry at myself, and I kind of like have to push through it, so to say. I always feel like I'm not good enough. But again, that's not relevant. You don't need to know that kind of thing. But yeah, I do struggle when recording videos sometimes. It's just sometimes you'll go to record a video and it just won't happen, and you just have to kind of just go, well, forget it. I can't do it today. It's not going to happen. So you just have to kind of leave it. Or you can kind of struggle on through, and sometimes it'd be good, sometimes it'd be bad. I have done videos in the past where I'm not putting it out and click delete, because there's too many things that I don't feel, too many mistakes that I don't feel I like. You know what I mean? It's kind of nags at me, so to say. And I knew if it was on YouTube, it would nag at me. I've got a few videos on YouTube that nag at me, that I'm not particularly happy with. But yeah, I mean, I do struggle. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone does who does videos for YouTube. It's not an easy thing to do, to talk to a camera. What I like to do is I'd like to picture, you're there. It's not the camera, it's all of you people out there. That makes it easier. It feels like I'm communicating with people instead of just a camera. Instead of me on my own in this room with a camera. It's nicer to kind of think that I'm communicating with all of you lot out there. Like I say, than just me being stood here on my own going, hi. It's a bit weird. But anyway. But yeah, and I have had the thing before where you start playing something, you're like, oh, that's amazing, and then you kind of like go to it, and it's like press record, and it's like, and you have to go, start that again, I think. So yeah, and yeah, the whole relaxed thing, it's like, I get more relaxed as the video goes on, and I found recently with doing the intro jams to videos, I'm a lot more calmer when I have to talk. I talk really fast though, and that's a problem for some people. I know. I'm really sorry about it. I can't really help it, but I do talk really fast, and I get a bit carried away, as you all know. But I found with the intro jams that just kind of brings me down a little bit, but then if I'm demoing something I really love, which I always do, if I don't like something, I'll never demo it. But you know, you'll never see me do like a demo on something I hate. It just wouldn't make any sense. Or I might do it one day and just have a bit of a rant and a rave and why I don't like something, just for variety. It might be quite amusing. It might be quite funny. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I do find with those intro jams, it just kind of calms me down a bit, especially if it's kind of like a serene jam, like at the beginning of this video. That jam I did there, that just came out of this guitar. Literally, the first thing I played was that jam at the beginning, and that just came out today, and that's just like, and it was just so nice and meandery, and I really had to kind of feel it out of where it was going, and because there was a key change from C minor to yeah, I don't know. I've totally forgotten what I went to. But yeah, basically the whole thing is in C minor. I've got the whole guitar down tuned, the whole step. No, sorry, so it's D. I've got the whole guitar tuned down to D. So it's so it wouldn't be a D actually. It'd be a with C minor. Yeah, I was right. I don't know. It's one of those days, everybody. Oh, I don't. Anyway, but yeah. Intro jams I find relax me, but yeah, I do struggle. I think everyone does. Every now and again, you know, I think even people on the highest kind of level of doing YouTube videos struggle to kind of like get things done sometimes, and I do feel sometimes you can kind of see it when people are kind of struggling to kind of get through it. But when people maybe don't want to be there, or you know, there's a bit of friction between maybe two people or one person, you know, they're struggling and they're like, this isn't really working or whatnot. But and if that happens, I would recommend don't bother. It's not worth it. It's just, you know, just go away from it and come back to it another time, because you'll make a better video if you're if you're less stressed. If you're not stressed at all, you make a great video. If you're stressed out, it's not going to be the best thing, and it will come across in your body language how you feel. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question, and going to move on to question 5 now. Bang, 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 bang. Did he 5-5 or did he 5-6? Well, number 6-7, I kind of forgot myself. I just turned into Clint Eastwood. Yeah, as you do. It's a normal thing to do, to every now and again, about 11:30 in the morning, to turn into Clint Eastwood. Do you feel lucky, punk? Anyway, moving along. Question 5. Somebody asked, I know you've covered it in other videos, but it'd be nice to have one answer for this. What do you use plectrum, strings, string gauge, leads, and strap wise? What do I use? So, plectrums, I normally use either 50 or 60mm plectrums. I really prefer 50mm plectrums to 60, but every now and again I'm using a 60 today. But and it's a nylon plectrum today. Really, I like these plectrums. They're really nice. They're just a little bit bendier than the orange 60mm ones. But my favourite plectrum is the 50mm by far. I love 50mm plectrums. But and as long as they're that thickness, I haven't got a preference to what make they are. I've got quite a few odd ends, kind of like, you know, 50mm plectrums and 60mm plectrums, but the ones I mainly have are just the Dunlop ones, the Tortex ones. But that's what I use plectrum wise. It's 50 or 60mm. I mean, occasionally, depending on what I'm playing, I might go heavier, or I might even go lighter. If I'm recording an acoustic guitar with a microphone, I like to have a really thin pick, almost kind of paper-esque kind of pick. Because it's something I learned when I was in London, is through one of my tutors called Dario. He said they like to hear that pick on the strings when they record your acoustic guitar, and that's why when you hear acoustics, Wonderwall's a great kind of example of that. If you listen to Wonderwall, you can hear the pick and Talk Tonight. Well, any Oasis track with an acoustic, you can kind of hear that pick, and any kind of pop track with an acoustic, you can kind of hear the plectrum kind of flopping about on the strings, and they like to hear that. And that's that really nice, rich acoustic-y sound. And that's what I learned from him. So, depending on what I'm doing, that's what I'll do there. Okay. Question 6. Where do you have your zoom pedal on your pedal board? You said you're having trouble with the drum machine, it's distorting. Right, I have it... Well, first I got to mention, the way people explain pedal boards to me is backwards. So I have it at the beginning. But to me, the beginning of a pedal board is after the amp. So it goes from the amp to the zoom pedal. And that's where I always have my zoom pedal. I always have it first, and then I have things after it. But to me, the zoom pedal's the beginning of a chain, pedal-wise, because I always see the amp as the beginning, and the guitar is the end. I don't know. It's backwards. I basically see things backwards, and I think that's in some videos it's got people a little bit confused. But that's the way I see it. But I would always recommend running it from right before your amp. So amp to your zoom, and the same with any multi-effects unit. I would always recommend you go from your amp into the multi-effects unit, and then after that add your pedals, because my signal chain at this point in time is going from the Flexi to the Zoom G2, into the Governor, into the Jackhammer. Oh no, sorry, the Plexi into the Zoom G2, into the Rosemary and Thyme pedal, which is that chorus and delay pedal from Green Carrot. Then into the Governor, then into the Jackhammer, WH10, DS2, and then the guitar. I think the actual proper way you're supposed to do it is backwards, but I do it that way. That's the way it's always worked for me, and that's the way that's the way I'll always kind of do it, so to say. So yeah, I would always recommend running it there, like beginning of a chain or end of a chain, depending on which way you see it. It's always beginning for me. So yeah, amp into the zoom, and that way anything you run after it will not affect it. Especially with the drum machine, the only thing you've got to affect it is your amp, and if you're running your amp clean, then you don't have to worry about it at all. So yeah, that's that, should I say. So I hope that's answered your question. I hope that'll help you out. If it's still distorting, email me again, or actually tell you what, better than email me. Private message me on YouTube. And if it's still not working right, message me on there, and I'll reply to you on there, and I'll message you a couple of other things if I can think of anything that might help you out. Okay, so how was the question? Move on to question 7 now. Okay, so question 7 today is what out of all the music you've created are you the most proud of? Well, this for one. The Duke's Deluded debut album, I don't think I've ever been so proud of anything musically in my life other than this album. It's 12 original songs that Dan, the singer guitarist, wrote that we've all added to, and we all came together as a band, and we have this. And this is, at this point in time, is my proudest moment musically. And probably will be for a long, long time. I am so proud of this album. That's why it's here. I have a copy of this actually sat on my desk where I do all my video editing and stuff. Just sat there because I'm so proud of it. I like to look at it and think that, us four made this. There's 12 songs on it, and we really worked at the artwork, and we really worked at what we wanted inside, and all that kind of, and what we wanted to say. And the way it wanted to look, and I'm just so proud of this album. I'm so proud of it. It's just, it doesn't get much better for me. This, I never ever thought I would be able to hold a actual album of original music that's properly done like this in my hand that I had input on. I really didn't. So I'm massively proud of this. This is probably my proudest moment, kind of a music that I've helped make by far. As for music that I've written on my own, and it sits there next to my friend Charlie and Jimi Hendrix. Music I've made myself, the piece I'm probably most proud of is my tribute to Rory Gallagher called Rory. It's just an acoustic dadgad tuning thing. I just came up with it on the spot. I just recorded and I just pressed record and I just played. And I was just thinking of Rory Gallagher, and I was thinking of when I went to visit his grave in Ireland, and I was just thinking of all these kind of gifts that Rory's given me and us through his music, and I was just thinking of that, and I just started playing this. It was a Brunswick candy apple red acoustic that had been absolutely butchered, but it sounded amazing. It still does sound amazing, and I was just playing it, and I came out with this piece called Rory, which obviously is for Rory, and it's on YouTube somewhere, and it's probably one of my proudest guitar pieces that I've written and recorded, and it just sounded right and it felt right, and I'm really proud of that. Other than that, there's quite a few bits of music I like, but the funny thing is, I gigged my original music for years and years and years. I gigged it for a long time, and then and it was always, because we were more of an originals kind of heavy rock band, people weren't that interested. Especially around here, there isn't a massive market for original music where I am. So I eventually kind of got a bit disheartened with my own music, and I gave up. I've got something like 67 songs, some of which I put up on my Bandcamp account. But I've got something like 67 songs that I've written, but I'm not happy with any of them anymore, just because every time I play them, they've just got such a negativity attached to them due to certain gigs I've played them at, or certain issues that come up while playing them, and this, that, and the other. I've got a song called Overcome, which a lot of people love, and it's about being bullied at school and what do you do. But I don't ever see myself releasing it or anything like that, just because it's got so much. It's not negative. It's a really positive song, but well, it's kind of negative, but it's kind of positive. But it's got such a kind of stigma attached to it now. It's really difficult for me to kind of to look on it in a good light. And the same thing with any of my music. It's really hard to look on it in a good light through one thing or another. But yeah, but I am really proud of that song, Rory. I'm really proud of that. I say the Dukes Luder album, Midnight of the Lodestone. I'm over the moon with that. I'm absolutely over the moon with that. It really means everything to me, that album does. It's just from now for the rest of my life, I'll have that album. We made that album. That's our music, and that to me is just that's the ultimate. It's just absolutely amazing. You also asked. Sorry about that one. You also asked, why does Scar Tissue from Bad Rail Chippers mean so much to you? I would like to answer you, and a few people have asked me, why does that song mean so much? And I'd like to answer, but I can't. It's too difficult to kind of get out. Maybe one day. But today's not going to be that day. I don't mean to sound really stupid or cryptic or silly with it. I'm not trying to kind of gain kind of sympathy or anything like that. It's just something. No, I can't do it. But yeah, maybe one day I'll explain why Scar Tissue is probably one of the most, if not the most, meaningful songs to me that's ever been kind of written, so to say. But it can't be today, I'm afraid. Sorry, I can't get it out. Yeah. Okay, gonna move on to question 8 now. I hope I answered your question though on music I'm most proud of. I'm sorry I can't answer the Scar Tissue one. I say maybe one day I'll hopefully get it. But I'm going to go to question 8 now. Final question of the day, everybody. Okay, so question 8 today, everybody. Final question of the day is I'm thinking of putting a small pedal board together to based around the sound of John Frusciante, maybe 4 or 5 pedals. Any suggestions? And do you think you'd be interested in the Marshall Orgin series? Answer your last question first. Yeah, I'm massively interested in the Orgin series. I really want to try the head. Personally, I like heads and cabs to combos, but I wouldn't sniff at a combo. But I would like to try the Marshall Orgin series out. They does look insanely fun. So yeah, I would be massively interested in Marshall Orgin. Excuse me. So yeah, you're going to put a small pedal board together based around John Frusciante, maybe 4 or 5 pedals. Any suggestions? Yeah, John Frusciante wise, well, you kind of want to break it down to the key elements of John, if that's what you kind of want. But you want the pedal board to do other things as well. So the really cool thing is, what you want to kind of get is you want like a chorus kind of sound, so like a chorus pedal. You need a distortion pedal. A fuzz would be cool. A wah pedal. That's 4. Can we think of another one? So yeah, we've got chorus, fuzz, distortion, or wah. You could always add some kind of like filtery thing, but I suppose you could just those 4 pedals would do you. Oh, a delay. Ah, yes, a delay. That'd be a great thing to have. So yeah, those 5 pedals. So chorus pedal wise, you want that kind of real deep chorus wise. I mean, Boss do great chorus pedals. I mean, they always have, and they always probably will. But there are cheap alternatives. A Zoom pedal. The Zoom G2 has an awesome inbuilt chorus. I love the chorus on the Zoom G2. It's really rich and really depthy, and it sounds like John to me. So yeah, I mean, and I say, if you get like a multi-effects unit, your board becomes infinitely more versatile. Especially if it's like the Zoom G2. I mean, I don't go anywhere without my Zoom G2. It's like if I could have one pedal, it'd be that. But what I would recommend is that maybe getting something like a Zoom G2, a multi-effects unit, and having that to kind of like amp into that, and then having things after it. So so yeah, I would have that, and then you kind of like covered like you've kind of, if you got multi-effects, you can cover everything from chorus to delays to flange to filters to distortions to whatever. So you kind of got that. Well, my pedal board down here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pedals. So yeah, I would recommend something like a multi-effects unit to kind of like cover the effects aspect of John and other people. Then I'd recommend something like a jackhammer or a Tone City Golden Plexi for that kind of like that kind of cleanish, bitey kind of that kind of thing. So I'd recommend something like that as well. That's cool. So you said Zoom, jackhammer. Really, what an Ibanez wah. If you're after the John thing, you really want that kind of like real. You want that kind of thing. So yeah, so an Ibanez wah. I think they're making them again now. They did stop making for a while, but I think they are. And a DS2 is the ultimate John. The Ibanez wah and the DS2 are the ultimate John effects to me anyway. I mean, I'm sure some people will disagree, but that's cool. But to me, the DS2 and the Ibanez wah are like the ultimate John effects. They're the 2 effects you need if you want to be, have that kind of sound. So so yeah, get something like maybe like a Zoom, like a multi-effect, or any kind of multi-effects unit that you like, like the sound of and like messing around with. Something like a Tone City Golden Plexi or a jackhammer to kind of like get that pseudo John cleanish cranked amp sound. Ibanez wah, DS2, and maybe a fuzz pedal of some description, like say like a Big Muff or something like that. Just to kind of have that extra John element, so that fuzzy element, that Jimi Hendrixy kind of thing that John kind of has with his fuzz. But yeah, that would be what I'd recommend. That would be kind of like the 5 pedals I would recommend, just to kind of like to get you to that kind of that point, I'd say. So so yeah, and I don't think you really need much more than that, really, especially if you've got a multi-effects unit, because you've got so much covered in that. I say you got delays, choruses, and all sorts of stuff in it, especially in like a Zoom, which I need to get my demo done on my Zoom at some point very soon, because time is wasting and I want to get it done. So hopefully that might be next week, because I've got Friday's video planned. But and this guitarist featured. But anyway, you're letting too much on, Dave. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend definitely, is like some kind of multi-effects unit, a Tone City Golden Plexer or a jackhammer to kind of get the pseudo John kind of crunch, a fuzz pedal like a Big Muff, an Ibanez wah, the WH10 and a DS2. They're the pedals I would recommend highly if you want to go for that John sound. And it's not too far off his Californication era setup then, when he just had his chorus pedal, Phase 90, his Boss Fuzz and the Boss DS2 and the Ibanez wah. You know, they only had 5 pedals then, so it's not a million miles off that. So that's what I'd recommend, and yeah, I hope that's helpful for you, to you all. People of the tube, is there any other pedals you could recommend in the comment section below for this fellow that he might want to make a mini John board? If so, comment below. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, that's it, everybody. 8 questions today. I'm building up a bit more. Okay, so really enjoyed this Q&A. I hope it's been informational. That's not even a word, but it is now. I've just made it up. It's now in the dictionary. Informational. Noun. Dave Simpson created this word on this day, and it means nothing. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again on Friday for another video. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we'll get there when we get there. And yeah, I'll see you again. Have a great morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. Goodbye.